Let's overreact to Rolling Stone's latest 100 greatest guitar solos of all time list. So sick. Come on, that's gotta be like 35, not 65. Like again, we had Geese, but we didn't get Jump. God, shocking to me. Great, okay, I hate this. It has to be rage bait. I guess the joke's on me, but I think it'll be fun to dive in and discuss it. And they actually got some things right. There's some things that I don't love, but let's start at the top and see what we got. All hail the guitar solo. All right, we can agree on that. All right, first thing I do have an issue with is including Geese and MJ Lenderman. For something to be the greatest of all time, I feel like you have to have at least like 10, 15 years. I don't know, it has to age over time. It's really hard to put something from this year in a list of the greatest ever. The other thing that I don't love off the bat here is that they're excluding jazz. And in a totally non-pretentious manner, I just don't think that's right. You're kind of disqualifying like half the lexicon. I understand like accessibility is key here, and there's also something to be said for a solo that has mass appeal and connects with a lot of people, which jazz tends to be a little more niche. But I feel like that really, you gotta at least consider like a Wes Montgomery solo, Days of Wine and Roses, maybe something from Django Reinhardt, and then kind of breaking the rule to include Les Paul and Mary Ford because it's a pop tune by a guy with a jazz background feels like a cop-out. I glanced at the list beforehand. One of the things that really stood out to me is how some solos jumped dramatically. And I think that's something that's going to be interesting for us to break down because that says something about the times and the culture, which is why I have a problem with including new things. Great, okay, I hate this. Number 100, AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long. Obviously, I think this solo should be in the list, but the issue is, like I said, I glanced ahead. This is the only Angus drop in the entire list. That's a pretty hard pill to swallow considering that Geese has an entry ahead of this at 98, I believe. Yeah, that's wild. And like no shade to any of these artists, to be honest. Angus is one of the most incredibly underrated guitarists ever, in my opinion, as far as his timing and his note choice and his solos. I think the band is kind of bigger than Angus, and a lot of people write off AC/DC as being kind of like primordial, primitive caveman rock. Oh, there's no drum fills, and it's like so simple. But I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it. And the way that Angus weaves into the tapestry of these very foundational arrangements and songs really makes his solo stand out, I think. In this solo, it's like he doesn't rush that bend there. Great vibrato on that low D. Feel like this could be a little higher, and honestly, I'd love to see maybe one more entry for Angus in here. Touch Too Much, Back in Black even. Highway to Hell has a great solo. All right, skipping ahead, I already mentioned, I think the Geese thing is weird. I don't think you can include something from 2025 in the all-time great list of solos. That just doesn't sit right with me. Okay, we got some metal representation. Megadeth at number 97 for Hangar 18. Love to see it. I probably would have put Tornado of Souls in here instead. This is the lone nod to Megadeth. I understand why this one maybe is a little bit more iconic. Also, having been in Guitar Hero, it's amazing, obviously. I'm not gonna knock it. And I love to see Megadeth in here and Marty get some credit. But yeah, Tornado of Souls for me, personally, that's my favorite. Here's Les Paul, How High the Moon at 95. I think that's a fine spot for it. Again, bothers me that they would include this, but they'd rule out any other jazz guitar player on the grounds that, well, this crossed over into pop music. Django Reinhardt at the time, swing would have been pop with big bands and hot jazz in the 30s. I don't know. Commodores, easy. I like the Commodores pick there. That's a very, very singable, tasteful solo, great tone, serves the song really well. Aerosmith at 91 for Walk This Way. I think the spot's fine for that. Again, Joe Perry, like Angus, I think is someone who's underrated for their timing. Let me see if I can remember that one. It's like... I improvised a little bit there, but yeah, that's a great one right there. Leave some nice space there in the beginning. And then this sweep of the major arpeggio here to the 6th, up to the flat 7, that's really cool. Very sick. The second solo in that too, amazing timing as well. So yeah, love it. Love to see Joe Perry get some love. I'm gonna start to skip ahead a little bit because we really want to get to the top 20, you know, and really start to pick it apart. All right, notable here, we got Pantera at 86 for Cemetery Gates. Love to see Pantera in the list. Could it be a little higher? Probably. I think it depends on what comes next. There's probably some solos that I would put below this. Could be a little low. Let me know what you think in the comments. There's a few others too that I feel like could be in there. Domination, even Cowboys from Hell. What do you think? John Mayer Gravity at 85 bothers me only because it's the only Mayer nod in the entire list. It should be much higher in that case. I mean, John's obviously probably the most influential guitar player right now of the last, say, like 20 years as far as his influence on the style now and like what's popular with neo soul, with R&B. I mean, it's a really good solo. I think there's also other ones that you could justify being in there, to be honest. I think because this is an iconic song, I feel like that's the reason they threw it in there. Beautiful licks there. Just that alone, man. He milks that bend. Love Gravity, love John getting some love. I think it's way too low. Again, also here, maybe you could put the live version, Where the Light Is. I saw him on that tour. That was my first concert, was John Mayer on the Continuum tour in 2007. Okay, again, this is where I think things start to get a little weird, where like, I'd probably put Cemetery Gates ahead of a few of these. I would put Gravity ahead of these as well. But I don't know, what makes these lists? What makes these solos great? Who knows? At 80, we got Steve Vai for The Love of God. That's my favorite lick from that song. So this is one that actually dropped a lot from the last list, which I don't love. I think just the whole composition, I think, deserves to be higher up there. I think the solo is awesome. I'm glad that it's ahead of Geese. Okay, we got some Yes action. Steve Howe is brilliant. Let's see, Judas Priest Painkiller at 78. That's a dope solo. Albert King, interesting choice for the cut. I would have put Born Under a Bad Sign. That's fine, love to see it. Now this one's throwing me off. Jimmy Eat World at 76 for the middle. Amazing band, amazing song. I don't know how that's a number 76 solo, especially ahead of a few that we just looked at. Okay, now this is a good one. The Cars, Just What I Needed. I've had a chance to interview Elliot Easton, and I played with him actually. I played drums and we played this song at a private party. It was so sick. This solo absolutely deserves to be in here. I might even put it higher. His solos are so melodic. It's so brilliant. They're like songs within the song. That ending lick is unbelievable. Well-deserved, could be higher. You know, the other thing that sucks is the number of ads on here make it like impossible to read the list. My Sharona at 72. See, this is what I'm saying, like that's a better solo than Just What I Needed. The Yeah Yeah Yeahs with Maps, I love that song. I think that's one of the best songs of the 2000s, but I wouldn't put the solo there. Heart-Shaped Box, I don't mind at 70. I would maybe even put it a few spots higher. I think that solo is like Cobain's in his bag. People are like, he's not a good lead guitar player. I'm like, that solo's rad. The attack, the tone and everything on it, like he's fighting against his own limitation, and it's like, I don't know. I love that solo. That's my favorite Kurt Cobain guitar solo. Okay, first Frank Zappa entry at 69. I actually don't know this one, so I want to hear it. Okay, that was an 8-minute solo and a 9-minute song, which I respect. Let's keep it in there at 69. Ah, yes, Iron Maiden, The Trooper at 68. The first song, full song I ever learned on the guitar after hearing it in Guitar Hero 2. Played this at my 8th grade talent show with my band Black Fuse, and we won. It was very cool. I played the Dave Murray solo, poorly. I think I have a video of that, which I'll put in here now. Great lick in there, Adrian Smith. Yes, The Trooper. Really glad that's in the list. I think it's fine at 68. I'm just glad it's in there. Miserloo, Dick Dale at 65, I think is way too low. I think this paves the way for all guitar god instrumental music to come for decades. Without Dick Dale, none of that happens. It's impossible. So I feel like that could be higher. I would honestly even put that in the 30s or 40s minimum. Come on, that's gotta be like 35, not 65. Okay, very glad that Radiohead Paranoid Android is in here. That would be a glaring omission. 64 also feels low to me. I would like to see that higher. That is an incredible solo. It's like crazy tremolo picking. Incredible solo, super unbridled, bombastic, perfect in the song, hits at just the right moment, tone is crazy. Again, could be like in the 30s, in my opinion. Boston, More Than a Feeling at 63. way too low for More Than a Feeling. Boston is an incredible band. Tom Scholz is a genius. He's probably the biggest pioneer of guitar sound outside of maybe Les Paul, Hendrix, Van Halen, Tom Scholz. I feel like that's the Mount Rushmore of like people that absolutely changed the paradigm on how the guitar sounds. And I would even put that way higher. I mean, his Peace of Mind solo is also amazing. That could have been in this list. That's me trying to play it off the dome, so don't judge me too harshly. Amazing harmony on that too. Cliffs of Dover at 62. This 60 bracket is like really pissing me off. I feel like most of these 60 solos should be in like the 30s or 40s. Best tone in instrumental guitar music, period. Okay, Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper at 60. I think that's fine there. That's a cool solo. This is the thing that I'm saying is that like a lot of these I think are like very singable, very melodic solos, which is totally fine, but I feel like they are definitely giving an edge to accessibility over ingenuity. And I don't want to say technicality or like technical expertise, because I'm the first person to tell you, someone that loves technical guitar playing, that doesn't make it great, right? Like there's very many other criteria that we judge these things on. It's like, how does it hit? Where does it fit within the song? Does it serve the song? How's the tone, the approach? Like, you got to think about the historical context and what that meant at the time and the impact that it had. And also the ultimate goal of the guitarist is to express themselves in their voice. So I think that also has to be rewarded with merit, which is why like I would put Heart-Shaped Box in there, and I would have even put it a little higher because I think that's Kurt's voice. And even though it's not super flashy, and for some people maybe it sounds like raw and unpolished and even messy, I do think it's a realization of his artistic vision. So I think we do need to give credit there where credit is due. However, just the fact that the song is like, the solo is just singable within the context of a pop song or a song that was like big on radio, I feel like is a really lame reason to put it as high as they've put some of these songs. And I think that's especially evident with Highway Star at 58, but then having Brian Eno and Dinosaur Jr. just a few spots ahead of that is really strange. So that's when they kind of lose me with the logic and the reason. Highway Star was actually the first guitar solo that I learned in its entirety, again, after hearing it in Rock Band. I don't remember the end, but yeah. Wow, what a solo. But, you know, Dinosaur Jr. No disrespect to Jay Mascis, but it's a tough one to swallow. All right, we got Link Ray Rumble at 56. I think that's fine. Very influential, obviously, on the players that came out of the British blues boom, so it belongs there. Freddie King, first appearance at 54 for Going Down. Interesting, could have put Hideaway in there. Okay, we got Peter Green version of Fleetwood Mac. For those that don't know, before Fleetwood Mac was the Fleetwood Mac that most people know today, they were a British blues band in the 60s with Peter Green on guitar, contemporary of Clapton, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, etc. And kind of one of the really respected guys in that scene, actually. So yeah, Peter Green definitely deserves an entry on here. Albatross is a good cut. Okay, Toyota, I don't want to buy your van, your minivan. All right, we got Joe Satriani at 48 for I just told them I don't want to buy their minivan. Why am I still? Okay. Okay, we got Joe Satriani at 48 for Surfing with the Alien. That might be like the highest like shred song on the list, if I'm remembering correctly. And to be honest, I don't mind the spot. Spoonful at number 47 from Howlin' Wolf. Obviously Hubert Sumlin on the guitar, very influential, cool song. I love Howlin' Wolf. I love this track, so maybe I'm a little biased. What do you think? Is it too high at 47? Sympathy for the Devil at 46. So this is an interesting one. I feel like it belongs there, and I love the Stones. This tone of this solo, like, it sounds like an ice pick to me. Like, it's really hard for me to listen to, actually. What do you think? Great solo. We got Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of at 44. I think that's okay. Okay, we got Elvis making his first appearance. Obviously, Scotty Moore is goated all time. I would put Hound Dog up here. That's my favorite Scotty Moore solo. the beginning of that solo is like, he's just going for it. I love it. Okay, Bonnie Raitt definitely deserves at least one entry in this list. They have her at 40 here for three-time loser. All right, enough said. All right, of course we have a Fish entry from Trey Anastasio. I think that's, I guess that's fine at 39. I'm not a jam band guy, so I recognize the brilliance of like that form, that art form, and being able to improvise within the context of those arrangements. So, okay, B.B. King at 38 for Sweet 16. You could put any B.B. King solo in here. I would probably have put some B.B. a little higher than 38. That feels like it doesn't sit right with me. Okay, Rush at 37 with Limelight, Alex Lifeson. Great solo, amazing solo. He leaves so much space. The tone is really cool. The song is so high octane and obviously like a lot of crazy drums from Neil Peart. And then for it to kind of drop out into the Alex solo and it builds with such intensity. Okay, the Kinks, You Really Got Me at 36. I don't actually have a problem with this. You could argue it's one of those very like raw, unbridled type of guitar solos. It's super influential. I think this changed what the guitar could be in the context of a pop song. And we all know kind of the famous story about how Dave Davies was cutting the speaker cone on the amp to get the distorted sound. Obviously paves the way for so much to come after that. So got to give it up for You Really Got Me. Jack White makes his first appearance with Ball and Biscuit at 35. I would have put Icky Thump in, but I mean, Ball and Biscuit is awesome. I mean, the tone of the Ball and Biscuit solo and how it hits when it enters in the song, I mean, it's making me smile thinking about it. And I actually just saw him do this the other night at the Ryman for Fender Teletown, like from 10 feet away, and it was epic. So yeah, all right, I'm fine with that. Sister Rosetta Tharpe has to have love here. I like that they didn't go for Hound Dog, kind of changed it up. I'll tell you what, she's playing over those changes. That's cool. That's cool. Sultans of Swing at 33. All right, Mark Knopfler, Sultans of Swing, everyone knows it. I feel like I thought that was gonna be a little higher. I'm kind of surprised by that, actually. Okay, we got the Beatles Something at 32. That's the George solo. I like it. Super melodic, beautiful lead, fits the song perfectly, great tone. It's got that one funny chromatic lick in there that always gets me that I think is really funny. Okay, we got War Pigs at 31. Sabbath makes their first appearance. Absolutely deserves to be in the top 30. 31's fine. I'll take it. Iommi. Something really cool that Tony Iommi used to do with the solos actually is he would like double or triple track the solos, and he would be having like multiple parts weaving in and out of each other, where he would play the E and the A strings. He'd do like a solo on just the two low strings, then the two middle strings and the two high strings, and he'd have them weave in and out of each other. They're all playing in different registers. It's actually almost kind of evoking like a New Orleans like second line solo concept where you have one or two or more solos weaving in and out of each other at the same time. Very slept on technique, and I don't even hear a lot of people do it now. I feel like it's like very reserved for Sabbath. If there's a band that's still doing it or a player still doing it that you know of, let me know in the comments because I'd love to check it out. Okay, we got Can't You Hear Me Knocking at 29, The Stones. This is Mick Taylor, obviously. This is a totally improvised section of the song that happened after they had like finished the planned arrangement for the recording sessions at the Chateau in France. It's super brilliant. Got Black Magic Woman, Santana at 28. Santana's been getting a lot of hate recently. I don't totally understand it. It's a fully realized artistic vision, and he is a one-of-a-kind player. It might not be your bag, that's fine, but he's super melodic. Love his use of the Dorian mode and how he plays over the changes. I think he's got a great tone. This one definitely deserves to be in here. I think 28's okay. Ooh, Metallica 1 at 27. It's also funny when he goes to the major pentatonic in the solo. This is a good one. Yeah, I feel like, Master of Puppets could be here. What do you think? 1 or Master of Puppets at 27? I like it. Okay, Cream Crossroads at 26, I thought was a little too low, and you'll see when we get to the top 10 why. It's so iconic, the live version, the tone is incredible. Ugh. ending lick he plays in the high octave too is so cool. Crossroads, love it, should be higher. Sweet Child of Mine at 25. Okay, interesting. I thought maybe it'd be November Rain. I thought maybe that would actually be in the top 20, but let's see. We still have some time to go here. Love to see Television in here. Marquee Moon, that's cool. I don't know if I'd put it ahead of a few of the solos we just broke down though. Okay, Layla at 23. Okay, Stevie Ray at 21 for Texas Flood. First appearance for SRV. What do you think? Too low or too high? Oh, brilliant. Love it. Oh, he plays the Albert King lick in there. That's like the, the Albert King thing. Jeff Beck at 20 for Freeway Jam. I would have done 'Cause We Ended as Lovers. I mean, glad to see Jeff getting love here, but I don't know. I feel like this one is a little more unbridled. It's a little more like him in his bag when he's doing the fusion thing, but 'Cause We've Ended as Lovers is so melodic. The tone is great. I feel like that's his best solo, so a little surprised that they went with this one. Okay, Freebird at 19. This is one we'll have to discuss. Is that too low or too high? I feel like this one, it was obviously much higher. I think for people, when it was in Guitar Hero, it was having a revival in the 2000s, and it was like kind of the apex of guitar. I don't know though. I feel like a lot of the solos that we just went through, I feel like are better solos than this. I feel like this solo is spectacular for its scope and kind of the meme culture that has evolved around it. I don't actually, me personally, I'm gonna have a hot take here. I think you could put this as low as the 40s or 50s, considering some of the solos that got bumped that far back. Like, I think the Crossroads solo is better than this. Even the Stevie Ray solo that we just broke down, I think that's even better. But you know what? I'll play Freebird. Wow, what is that? You know what lick does eat from that solo though? This one. All right, so Freebird at 19. Little Wing at 18, Hendrix. Well-deserved, needs to be in the top 20. I don't mind it at 18. Why does it reload every time? Come on, what are we doing here, Rolling Stone? All right, Crazy Train at 17. Love to see it. I do think it deserves to be pretty high. That's the second solo that I actually learned on guitar. R.I.P. Randy, great solo, perfect in the song. Great look at the end of that solo. I'm gonna piss a lot of people off here. I don't love the Grateful Dead. So let me know if you think 16 is where this song belongs. All right, coming into the top 15, here's where things will get really controversial. So get ready to comment because I wanna talk about it with everyone. Okay, we got Prince, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, live at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, 2004. This is a W. This is absolutely goated. Prince goes God mode in this clip. Yeah, absolutely deserves to be in the top 15. I might even put it higher. Bohemian Rhapsody at 14 kind of bothers me. It jumped a lot from the last list they did. I think it was like in the 30s or 40s or something. It's one of my favorite solos ever. The tone is amazing. The arc of it, it's just perfect. The way Brian May hits those pre-bends is so cool. I guess I'm okay with it at 14. I can't let my personal taste affect my objective review of this very unbiased list of guitar solos. That doesn't exist, guys. There's no such thing as being unbiased. Everybody's biased. All right, Allman Brothers, Statesboro Blues at 13. Dwayne Allman getting some love. I would put something from live at Fillmore East here. Probably Whippin' Post or One Way Out. I think the One Way Out solo is one of my favorites. Okay, Michael Jackson, Beat It at number 12. I'm okay with Beat It at 12. Obviously, super iconic, great solo, perfect in the song. Classic Eddie tremolo line on the outro, I love it. All right, Hendrix at 11 with All Along the Watchtower. I did a short version of this on TikTok earlier this week, and I think I was a little too harsh on this. It's a great solo. The nuance and the array of the tones is really cool. There's like the chorded part of the solo, then the melodic part that follows the changes. This one throws me. Number 10, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I understand the legacy of it and why it's iconic, but first of all, we just had the live version of Why My Guitar Gently Weeps at 15, and this is not the Beatles' best solo, and this is not, by far, it's not Clapton's best solo. So I think this one is getting heated because of the legacy behind it, the story with some of the drama that was happening between George and Eric. If you know, you know. I don't love that pick. Funkadelic, Eddie Hazel, Maggot Brain at 9, the 10-minute guitar solo. I was also harsh on this in my initial reaction just because I felt like there were other solos that were more memorable within the context of traditional song arrangements that I thought should have been higher, like Bohemian Rhapsody, for example. But I went back and I re-listened to the whole thing, and it humbled me because it had been a long time since I listened to it, but I don't think I've ever heard a solo that's like that guttural and just tortured sounding. So I think Eddie absolutely deserves that spot. I stand corrected. I'm good with it at number 9. Maybe even put it at 7 or 8 because these next couple picks I start to have more issues with. Kid Charlemagne at 8. Larry Carlton, amazing. Steely Dan, great band. I think this, again, is a sign of the times. I think this one got heated because of the attention it got with like Rick Beato's channel and just maybe how it's aged. I think there's a couple Steely Dan solos and even Larry Carlton solos that you could argue should go in here, but I'm not saying it's not great. What's throwing me is that this was like number 80 on the list that they did 10 years ago. What is it about this solo in the context of the last 10 years, or however long, that made it jump 72 spots from 80 to 8? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Too high? Too low? All right, here we go. Stairway at number 7. Now, what actually blows me away about this is not that it's dropped. I understand why there's some other, I think it became, maybe it's a little played out. It's cliche for a lot of people. I understand why it might fall a couple spots from previous lists. But the fact that this is the first and only entry for Jimmy Page on the entire list is shocking to me. We have Geese, but we don't have Heartbreaker. We don't have Achilles' Last Stand. This is not even Jimmy's best solo. Since I've Been Loving You should be in there. That's the solo. Okay, so top 10, absolutely. I understand why it's fallen from number 1. I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is that I feel like there should be at least one other entry for Jimmy somewhere else in the list, maybe 2. I don't know, man. I just played it and damn, it's good. It is really good. It's actually great. Now I'm conflicted. Let's talk about it in the comments. What do you think? Too low, too high? Did Jimmy deserve more on the list? I mean, Hendrix got what, 3 entries? Clapton has 2. All right, Johnny B. Good at number 6. Obviously, Chuck Berry has to be in here. He is the godfather of rock guitar and lead electric guitar for that matter. Actually, saw Chuck Berry when I was 13 at a free festival in the park in New Jersey. It was amazing. This changed guitar forever. And it's a ripping solo. It's not like, oh, it's like simple and sloppy, but it's influential. Like you could say with like the Kinks, You Really Got Me, like that's kind of a very raw solo, to put it politely. This is actually like a precise, well thought out solo that has contour. It's influential. It belongs here for sure. Incredible. Love it. Eruption at number 5, Van Halen. Kind of crazy that, if I'm correct, this is the only Van Halen entry? I feel like Jump could be in here. Hot for Teacher. Like again, we had Geese, but we didn't get Jump. We had the Grateful Dead, but we didn't get Hot for Teacher. God. All right, well, I guess it's fine. The whole thing's a solo. It's not like the solo, but it's like the song. I mean, there's so many iconic parts, obviously the tapping part, but my favorite part of Eruption is actually the tremolo picking part where he switches to the major key. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. All right, I did it. Moving on. Number 4, we got Comfortably Numb. David Gilmour, Pink Floyd. Could be higher. I don't know. I think maybe the live version, Pulse. I have a huge issue with the David Gilmour representation in the list as well. Similarly to Jimmy Page, I feel like one entry is just not nearly enough for how brilliant this guy is, how much impact he's had, but not only as a progenitor and an innovator, but like just purely as a player, he's brilliant. Amazing tone, amazing touch and feel, nuance, like always serving the song, placing the solo in the context of great music that has moved so many millions of people. I feel like he at least deserves 2 entries, if not 3. I would put Money in there. And for me personally, Time is my all-time favorite David Gilmour solo. It's not even my favorite Gilmour solo. I put it in my like top 5 all-time solos. The tone is insane. Where it hits on the record on Dark Side of the Moon, like you go 10 minutes into the album, there's no leads. And then he just comes in with that absolutely searing lead tone with the echoplex and the fuzz. It's just unbelievable, you know? Come on, Time. That's number 1 for me. That's my favorite ever, but moving on. Okay. The Eagles at number 3 with Hotel California. I don't love it. I don't love it. I feel like if Kid Charlemagne's gonna jump 72 spots and Stairway's gonna fall from number 1, you only have 1 entry for Gilmour, and we're putting this at number 3 still. I feel like somehow this one has held up as consistently being in like the top 5 of any list ever. I don't know. It serves the song really well. It's iconic. Can't take that away from it. Great double bend there. It just doesn't sit right with me. Given the criteria and how they move things around with the rest of the list, I feel like this could easily be 6, maybe 5, but I think I would put Comfortably Numb ahead of this. Maybe not Eruption, but I would probably maybe swap this and Comfortably Numb, to be fair. All right, number 2, we got Jimi Hendrix Machine Gun. In my initial reaction, I was also a little harsh on this, not because it's not great. It's freaking brilliant. I love the tone. It's an incredible clip. This is also my favorite era of Hendrix, the Band of Gypsys era. I think it's his best tone. I think it's like his most connected playing. But after going back and again, like Maggot Brain, I had to re-listen to the whole thing and just like sit with it objectively. And I absolutely believe that it should be in the top 5. And I don't have a problem with it at 2. Even just for that one note that he hits at like, maybe it's like 4 minutes in, he just hits that one insane. It's just like... And the sustain just goes on and on and on. It's like, it might be the best note ever played on the guitar. I think like Slash said that, or someone said that it was like the best note ever played on the electric guitar, and I honestly can't disagree. And at number 1, Purple Rain, Prince. I love Prince. I don't love this pick. I don't love this pick. I think this is a very biased pick based, again, on cultural context of the moment, not on objectively what is the greatest guitar solo of all time. Obviously, Prince is hugely influential, amazingly popular, brilliant musician, great guitar player, in some regards an underrated guitar player. I think earlier in his career, for me, the Revolution era and like into the 80s, like he is doing stuff that is like really different, which I appreciate. And I think this song, this solo is so iconic in the context of this song. Other than the climax and the kind of post-solo harmony section, I don't know, I wouldn't put it at number 1. I think you could easily argue for a top 10 spot, but my hot take is that it should not be number 1. But I think right now, it's number 1 in people's hearts and minds. Stranger Things, you know? So I think maybe that's the reason it's so high. Don't think this should be the #1 solo. If they had made it the Super Bowl halftime show live version from 2006, I feel like I'd feel differently about it. I think maybe I'd be more okay with the position. Yeah, having the studio version there at #1 doesn't feel correct. Okay, so my key takeaways from this and what I've learned is that these lists don't matter. All of this is made up. The guitar is awesome. There's a million ways to play it, and that's why it's great. Who the hell knows what makes a solo great, to be honest, at the end of the day. And according to the logic of this list and every list that Rolling Stone has published before this one, there is no actual logic. So it's completely illogical for the most part, and it's kind of silly. Biggest oversight for me is Neil Schon not being present on the list. I feel like that is absolutely criminal. For the nth time, we got Geese, but no Neil Schon. Separate ways. Don't Stop Believin'. Who's Crying Now? I mean, that's top for me. I can't believe that Neil Schon is not on here. But also country, very unrepresented. No Brad Paisley, no James Burton, Brent Mason. Also no Yngwie, that's a problem. And Steve Lukather is another huge oversight. Hold the Line, Rosanna. Rosanna should 110% be on this list, and it should be high on this list. All right, so let me know what you guys think about these ratings in the comments. I can't wait to discuss it. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for future uploads. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time.